Good day, everyone. Hope you're well. Welcome back. And here we are. We're in the final 48 hours. We're coming up on the last 24, and it's time. I know so many of you are wondering, where can I park? Where can I park? What's the math? What's it look like? Well, that's what we're here to do, baby. Let's get into it. First things first, let's close it from the bottom to the top. You can see here over the last few days that gamma cutoff is moving very, very consistently. 77 as of about 20 minutes ago. So we're going to kind of combine this into our last day. We'll look at it as a one-day stretch, but realistically, this 86 number, that's going to put you in a safe spot. So you can see that I relabeled that to a safe cutoff. Let's not worry about these extrapolated guys. That little guy, I wouldn't worry about that little guy. Arcane cutoff, again, moving at a similar pace of what it is. It's been at about 4 this week, and I think giving yourself that, double it, triple it over the next day, it's going to put you at about 140, not a big deal. Same with your quantums. Again, these are your kind of smaller Mysterium cutoffs, right? Smaller Mysterium cutoffs, not as big of a push. And to that, your quantums have still been very low. Q2, moving a couple of points. If you think 10 points, 225 puts you in a good spot for Q2. I think 250 for Q1 is pretty solid. They've gone up 5 in the last day. You double it, you're in a pretty safe spot. Mysterium, I guess we'll save that for a little bit. M2, I think you're sitting at about 316 is probably not right. I don't know why I put that there. No, that's actually probably going to be safe. That's actually probably going to be safe. It's going to be close because we're going to talk about that in a minute. Let's call it 320-ish. Oh, that's because it was just math. That's right. I would say if you give yourself those points, let's just call that 320-ish. I think that's going to be relatively safe. I don't think you're going to see a ton of push in M2. So I think we'll be all right there. Same with M1. 345, about 20 points in the next day, I think is reasonable. Will it be that high? I don't know, but these are safe cutoffs, right? A little bit closer, a little bit tighter. Celestial C5, we'll save those too. And then lastly, C4. C4 is a bit harder to gauge. They're at 610 right now, and there's definitely going to be some sweats that are pushing here over the next day. I just don't know how much it's going to impact the bottom of C4. I think the bottom of C4 is very different than our brawlifiers. So I think we'll see some movement more toward the top. If we take a look here, by the way, they're holding steady in that high 700s right now. I think we're going to see some push over the next day. There's a handful of people that are really looking to qualify, really looking to position themselves, and we're going to see them do that. So I think for C4, if we say 40 points in the next day at 650 is reasonable. I just don't know how safe that is, to be honest with you. I don't know how safe that is. C4 players, we're going to have to monitor that and see what it looks like. But now, let's get to our big 3 big Mysterium cutoffs of Mysterium, Celestial, and C5. All right, here we are. So these are just basic maths from where we were. Mysterium, I have people hitting me up saying, high 200s, whatever else. I just don't think it's going to hold. If you come in here, we take a look at our Mysterium cutoff. We went up 12 points, where we had been averaging about 7, and it went up 12 points in 21 hours. I think if we math it out and we want to be safe, we give ourselves that 50 points over the last 48 hours. You're looking at about 315. I think that if you're above 315, I wouldn't mess with it. If you're between 300 and 315, I would keep a very close eye, and I would expect to probably have to play at least one more over the next 24 hours to lock up that spot. C6, you're in a similar boat. C6 is moving. Again, it had been at about an average of 10. It was kind of slow and steady. And then we jumped 14 points in 21 hours. And so again, a similar push for these big radiance cutoffs. So to be safe, again, I'm looking for my safe cutoff here for C6. I think if you're at 436, that's a 60-point jump, which would be the biggest jump we've seen since Radiance was introduced in the last 48 hours. If you're sitting at 436, you're pretty safe. Again, same thing. If you're sitting at 410, 415, I don't think you're in a great spot with how things are progressing, especially on that lower end. But again, start to prepare yourself for, will I have to get into one more match today? And then, of course, C5, I have them pacing for 510 right now. If you take a look at where they've been, they went up 10 points in the last day. So slower than some of the other ones, more in line with their average of this final week. But again, I do think I saw some names at the top of C6 that I think are going to be pushing. And I wouldn't be shocked to see that get up to this number of about 510. Again, a significantly statistically bigger jump than we've seen in the final 48 hours. But these numbers are intended to be safe. These are like guidelines. 315 for Mysterium, 436 for Celestial, 510 for C5. Intended to be guidelines to help you gauge, weigh, measure, whatever words you want to use, whether or not you got to go in and fight one more. If you've got any questions for me, leave them in the comments. Of course, I've been pinged on the Discord online. You can see my line ID here in the description. I can definitely answer some questions for you, but this is where you need to be shooting for. This is what you need to be looking for. Whoop, that was fast. I hope you pause it. I will be streaming later tonight, probably about 4 p.m. Pacific time. We'll be doing the last token matches and some friendlies and stuff like that. Please pop by. We'll have a good time, and we can see how scores have climbed over that period of time. I hope your season's going well. I hope the end closes strong. And until next time, peace.